viewers, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will discuss about keywords, identifiers, comments, indentation, docstrings, and variables in the Python. So keywords are reserved words in Python, and we cannot use these reserved words as variable names or function names or identifier names. And we have 36 reserved words, 36 keywords in Python. And some of the keywords are very familiar, like false, none, true, and uh, class, break, else if, else. So we might have heard about all these keywords in any other programming language as well. So we cannot use these keywords as variable names, function names, or identifier names. If we use these names as any of these variable names, we will get an error. Coming to the identifiers, identifiers are the names that are given to the classes or methods or variables or any other entities. Uh, and we using these identifiers, we can differentiate between these entities. So suppose we have defined a variable called a, which has value of 1, and we have declared one more variable as b with the value of 2. With value of 2, we can differentiate these two variables using these identifiers. And identifiers can be of any combination of lowercase letters and uppercase letters and underscore. Whereas we can include numbers as part of identifiers, but we cannot start a variable with a number. And we cannot use special characters like ampersand or at the rate in the identifiers. We consider this particular identifier abc underscore 1 is equal to 12, which is a valid identifier. Similarly, abc is equal to string abc is also a valid identifier. But if you see here, we have 1 underscore abc. This is not a valid identifier because it is starting with a number. Similarly, global is equal to abc is also not a valid identifier because global is a keyword. Similarly, if we see here am at the rate b is equal to hello, here at the rate is a special character and we cannot use special characters in the identifiers, and hence this is also not a valid identifier. Uh, Coming to comments, comments is one of the best practices developers follow as part of their coding standards, because this makes code more readable, and in the future when we refer to a particular line of code, we'll have a reference on why this particular code is implemented or why it has been modified. And that these lines of code is ignored by compilers. In Python, we use hash to represent comments. Coming to the indentation, in programming languages like C, C++, and Java, we use braces. to define a certain block of statements. But in Python, we use indentation. Like here is a statement, and after this, we want to execute a certain block of statement. So we'll have it indented so that we can define these statement as a block. So using this way, we can make our code more readable. And this block should be consistent across the statement, across the block. Normally for indentation, we can either use tab or four spaces. So this can be tab or four spaces. You see here, this will print 0 to 9, and this is an indented block. Coming to the documentation string, these doc strings make code more readable. Like when we generate a doc string for a particular function or a class, and we have given doc strings, when we generate documentation, right, it really generates a beautiful representation of what this particular class or function performs. So it is always a good practice for all functions and classes we define the documentation string. Documentation string can be represented with three quotes. And coming to the variable, we'll go into different data types in the coming sessions. But on an overview, variable is nothing but a memory location that is allocated to store data. And it will be given an unique name for a different memory location. Suppose when we say A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 6, we have this particular variable or data type assigned in memory. Similarly, for this, we have a certain memory location allocated. So, to refer to this memory allocation, we are calling it with a variable name. And to refer this particular memory allocation, we will call it with another variable name. And in Python, we don't need to define a variable before assigning a value. Suppose in programming languages like C, C++, we can define a variable int a. Then given a is equal to 5. But in Python, we don't need to declare or define a variable. We just need to assign a variable, and that will allocate a memory location. And in Python, we can have a multiple assignment. Say, like if we have two variables, A and B, and we can assign values at the same time, 5 and 6. And this is a valid notation in Python. We will see details about the keywords and comments in the Jupyter notebook. So we have seen, right? I mean, we have 36 keywords in Python. So to get these 36 keywords, right, we have to import keyword. Then we have to print what are the keyword list. keyword dot kw list will print all the keywords that are available in Python. Coming to comments, we have a single line uh, comment and we have multi-line comment. These single line comment we have seen hash using hash. This is a comment. Similarly, for multi-line comment, the same can be used for docstrings. Similarly, for indentation, so this is one of the examples we saw in the notebook where for I is equal I in range 10, this will print all the numbers from 0 to 9. But we have to be indented correctly for printing it. If we have not indented correctly, we will get indentation error. So if we correct this particular code and execute it, we can get the result. Let's try. So we see and if we execute it, so we see we are getting a number and it's into 2. So 0, 0 into 2, 1, 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 2. So we will have all this printed. So, but if we see, if we are making any mistake with the indentation, we will get indentation error. Coming to the docstrings, this is an example of a doc string. So here we are defining a function which takes input as a number and it just returns that number into 2. So we have taken number and output a double function. We are calling it double of n. We are calling this particular function for value of 10. And here we are printing function dot doc. So here we have defined our documentation function as this function will return a number after doubling. So first print statement will print 20 and second the print statement will print the documentation. This function will return a number after doubling. So this will print this particular documentation string. And coming to the variables, we have declared a variable x of 10 and id will print the location, memory location of this particular variable. That's all for this video. In the next video, we will discuss about data types. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And please share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.